Hello guys, Geekin for everyone. On this video I'm gonna tell you about permission in Linux. So after this video you're gonna know what is permission in Linux and how you can handle that, and you're gonna feel comfortable to work with that. So let's start. So every file and directory on your Linux Unix system is assigned three types of owner given below. A user is the owner of the file. By default, the person who created the file becomes its owner. Hence, a user is also sometimes called an owner. A user group can contain multiple users. All users belonging to a group will have the same Linux group permissions access to the file. Suppose you have a project where a number of people require access to a file. Instead of manually assigning permission to each user, you could add all users to a group and assign group permission to a file. Any other user who has access to a file, this person has neither created the file nor he belongs to a user group who could own the file. Practically, it means everybody else. Hence, when you set the permission for others, it's also referred as set permission for the world. So, let's understand the permission system on Linux. So every file and directory in your Unix Linux system has following three permissions defined for all the three owners we discussed. So let's use ls plus l command. And you can see there are three lines. On the first line there is some total information about this directory, and on the second line I highlight the name of directory I created here, named directory1, and on all this line there is some information about this directory. So, and on the third line there is a file named file1, and on this line there is some information about this file. So on my current working directory, it's this path. They are two objects. First one is a file and second is directory. And as you see a long format for this command ls, you can see some information regarding these objects. So let's talk about it in detail. So every file and directory in your Unix Linux system has following three permissions defined for all the three owners we discussed. First is a read permission. The read permission gives you the authority to open and read a file. Read permission on a directory gives you the ability to list its content. Second one's write permission. The write permission gives you the authority to modify the contents of a file. The write permission on directory gives you the authority to add, remove, and rename files stored in the directory. And last one is the execute. Actually, in Windows, an executable program usually has an extension .exe, and which you can easily run. In Unix and Linux, you cannot run a program unless the execute permission is set. So, let's check how it works in the Linux. So, it's my Linux Ubuntu, and I'm on my current working directory. So you can see a path. So let's run ls plus option l command. L means long, and As you can see, there are two objects into my current working directory. There is first object is a directory named directory1, I highlighted, and second is a file named file1. So, and on each line there is some information for directory and files. So regarding directory, on the same line there is some information about this directory. On the another line there is some information about file. So on the left of each lines you can see information about permission. So first letter, as you can see, refers to type of the file or object. For directory, this is a letter D. For file, it's a dash. That means D directory dash means file. So, as you can see, other 9 letters. So you can divide all these letters into 3 groups. As I mentioned, there are 2 types of owner. It's a user, so first 3 letters refer to user, second 3 refer to user group, and last 3 refer to others. So let's talk about each group, and let's talk about each letter. So as you can see, it's a full all permissions for owner, for group, and for others. And same for file. It's R means read, W means write, and X means execute. So it's full permissions for file and for directory as well. So let's create another file and another directory. To use a touch command, it's going to be file2, a name, and mkdir, and directory2, there's going to be name. So as you can see, for the file named file1, new one, the permission different from previous one. So by default there is another permission. Oh yes, I change permission for file1, you know, before I start record this video, but by default when I create a file, the default permission is like that. So for owner there is no permission to execute this file, to group is no permission as well to execute the file, and for others there is not write and execute this file. So for directory we create by default directory2. Difference between directory named directory1 and directory2, there is no permission for others to write. Okay, so probably you are interested how to change permissions. So actually there is a specific syntaxes and specific command you can use to change permissions in Linux. You can use chmod command. Actually syntax is like that, you can see on the screen. So actually there are 2 ways to use this command, chmod command. First way or first mode is absolute mode, and second is symbolic mode. So first, absolute mode or numeric mode in Linux. In this mode, file permissions are not represented as characters, but a 3-digit octal number. So you can see the table on the screen and see the column where is a symbol, and all symbol assigned to on the first column assigned to specific number. So, and on the table description you can see some information about permissions. So number 7, as you can see, there is a read, write and execute permissions. So if you just type 7 using chmod, then you type 7, that means you provide for owner read, write and execute permission. So let's provide full permission also for group and for others. So second number 7 means for group, and last one for others. And then you have to specify the file you want to provide permissions. So, and press enter. As you can see, on the file 2 there is a full permissions for owner, for group and for others. That's cool. So actually you can type not 777, for example 655. So 6 means read and write, and 5 means read and execute. So for owner I just provide read and write permissions, and for others and group I provide read and execute permissions. So press enter. As you can see, that is exactly what I said. So clear out screen of terminal. So next mode is symbolic mode. By this mode you can modify permission of a specific owner. There is a specific operators you can see on the table now with operators and descriptions. So syntax is like that. First of all, you have to specify the user, what you want to change permission for. Letter U means user or owner. Letter G means group, and letter O means others. Letter A means all. So if you want to change, for example, permission for file 2, you want to add execute permission for user, you have to use chmod command. Then you have to specify the user, so it's going to be owner, user, and then you have to use plus sign or minus sign. If you want to add permission, you have to use plus sign. If you want to remove permission, you have to use minus sign. So I want to add execute permission, so then I have to specify letter what permission I have to provide. So it's going to be execute permission, and then I have to specify file which I want to provide this permission, so it's file 2. As you can see, so for user it's a full permission, so read, write and execute. So we added execute permission for user. So if you want to remove permissions, for example, if I want to remove read and write permissions for user, I can combine. First of all, I have to use a minus, right, as a sign, and then I have to specify permission. I can combine it together. So I want to write and read permission. So press enter. As you can see, so I change permission. So I just remove read and write permission for users. And actually you can use another syntax as well. So you can just use equal sign, and then you have to specify what permission you want to add, how you want to change permission. For example, for user, I wanna use only write permission, and I just specify the file. As you can see, there is only write. So if you don't specify all permission, for example, read, write, and execute, if you don't specify all three letters, it's gonna be dash instead of that. For example, if I say read and execute, for example, and I didn't mention write, by this command, write permission gonna be dash, so it's remove a dash permission. So press enter. As you can see, there is no write permission. Thanks for watching this video. I hope it was really useful